There are certain questions about the meaning and processes of the evolutionary cycle, the existence and growth of the psychic being, and its relation to our human external existence that most of us have a difficult time addressing, as we have not had the experience or evidence from our own investigations to understand them completely. For most people, this means we rely on a specific religious, philosophical, or scientific viewpoint to create an understanding that we accept, if not dogmatically, at least provisionally, until our own experience can validate or modify that understanding. The mother, relying on her experience, provides her view of these issues and provides us a way to reflect on them based on what we are actually able to see and respond to. We appreciate there are certain qualities that are associated with the soul, qualities of caring, compassion, spiritual aspiration, a feeling of consecration, of sacredness rising in the depths of the being, a sense of oneness and unity with the rest of the creation. These things develop over time. Some people begin to exhibit these qualities at a very early age. Others may undergo various forms of traumatic or life-changing experience, while still others may develop these qualities as they mature and reflect on their lives and experience. Rishis and sages in India developed a way of understanding the divine intervention into the universal creation. They speak of the Jivatman, a spark of the divine that is seated above and acts to individualize the divine elements in beings through creation of a psychic entity, which eventually flowers out to become the psychic being as it matures and develops. Every being has the divine spark, but this does not automatically translate into the full possession of an individualized, conscious soul or psychic being. This development takes place over lifetimes and through gathered essence of experiences gained during those lifetimes. We can recognize individuals who develop these psychic qualities, as well as those who appear to not have any of them at all. Many people have, for instance, asked whether Hitler had a soul. Some people have indicated that whether he was born with a soul or had not developed one, he was actually possessed by a demonic vital being who had no concern for humanity, nor any positive qualities we associate with the soul. He was intoxicated with power and domination and a destructive intent that was so massive that it was impossible for people to believe the extent of the depravity until afterwards, when facts came out about the concentration camps, the torture, the mass exterminations, etc. He started out his career with the theme of making Germany great again after the loss they suffered in the First World War. He went on to conquer other countries to expand into Greater Germany for access to land and resources for his dream of greatness. Once he realized that his dreams for creating Germany first were failing, he turned his wrath on the loser German people and ordered his lieutenants to destroy all civilian infrastructure so the German people themselves would suffer. He occupied a human body, but did he have a soul? On the other hand, researcher Diane Fossey reported on juvenile gorillas who had seen a young gorilla in their band trapped by a poacher's snare. Thereafter, they went out seeking for snares and found ways to consciously disable them, not to respond to an immediate attack, but to protect other gorillas from being trapped by those snares in the future. They showed not only intelligence and insight, but a degree of larger oneness and concern that spoke about some element that went beyond purely animal instinct to something that evidenced qualities we associate with at least the incipient development of a more present and active psychic being. The mother writes, quote, "With regard to the evolution upwards, It is more correct to speak of the psychic presence than the psychic being, for it is the psychic presence which little by little becomes the psychic being. In each evolving form there is this presence, but it is not individualized. It is something which is capable of growth and follows the movement of the evolution. It is not a descent of the involution from above. It is formed progressively round the spark of divine consciousness, which is meant to be the center of a growing being which becomes the psychic being when it is at last individualized. It is this spark that is permanent and gathers round itself all sorts of elements for the formation of that individuality. The true psychic being is formed only when the psychic personality is fully grown, fully built up round the eternal divine spark. It attains its culmination, its total fulfillment, if and when it unites with a being or personality from above. Below the human level there is ordinarily hardly an individual formation. There is only this presence, more or less. Of course, one cannot say that every man has got a psychic being, just as one cannot refuse to grant it to every animal. Many animals that have lived near man have some beginnings of it, while so often one comes across people who do not seem to be anything else than brutes. But on the whole, the psychic, in the true sense, starts at the human stage. That is also why the Catholic religion declares that only man has a soul. In man alone there is the possibility of the psychic being growing to its full stature, even so far as to be able in the end to join and unite with a descending being, a Godhead from above." End quote. Reference: Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, The Psychic Being, Soul, Its Nature, Mission, and Evolution, Section 3, Growth and Development of the Psychic, page 78.